For nearly 2 decades, when NFL fans tuned in to ESPN on Sunday nights, one voice anchored the action: warm, commanding, and effortlessly engaging. That voice belonged to Mike Patrick, a revered sportscaster whose legendary career left an indelible mark on sports broadcasting. On Sunday, in Fairfax, Virginia, the broadcasting world lost one of its most iconic narrators. Mike Patrick passed away at the age of 80, leaving behind a legacy steeped in passion, professionalism, and humility. Dr. Mark Vasiliadis, Patrick's physician, confirmed the sportscaster's passing, noting he had been undergoing treatment for heart and kidney complications. Kevin Kiley, Patrick's longtime friend and former ESPN colleague, also paid tribute, saying his health had been in decline but his spirit never wavered. Patrick wasn't just another voice in the booth. He was the voice. Versatile, reliable, and deeply respected. Over the course of his illustrious career, he called NFL Sunday Night Football for 18 years, making him one of ESPN's most recognizable talents. But his range extended far beyond football. Patrick brought his insightful commentary and smooth delivery to college basketball, baseball, and some of the most memorable moments in women's sports. Fred Godelli, the producer of ESPN's Sunday Night Football for 11 years, described Patrick as a consummate professional with a humble approach. He was probably as egoless an announcer as I've ever worked with, Godelli recalled. He had a very natural way of announcing, not as a carnival barker or a screamer. He was grounded, authentic. Paul McGuire, one of Patrick's former broadcast partners alongside Joe Theismann, praised his leadership in the booth. "One thing about Mike is that he made the three-man booth work," McGuire said. "He was the leader. Joe and I were followers when he took the reins." Patrick's journey to national prominence began in West Virginia, where he was born Michael Carduff on September 9, 1944, in Clarksburg. After being adopted by his stepfather, Robert Frankhauser, he became known as Michael Patrick Frankhauser. His love for sportscasting sparked early, during high school when he assisted Jay Randolph, a future broadcasting great, by holding up yard markers during football games. He went on to graduate from George Washington University in 1966 with a degree in speech, setting the stage for a career behind the mic. Patrick's early roles included stints at WVSC Radio in Somerset, Pennsylvania, and then as sports director for WJXT in Jacksonville, Florida. There, he called games for the World Football League's Jacksonville Sharks and Jacksonville University basketball, eventually earning a place in the school's Athletic Hall of Fame in 2009. His talents eventually led him to WJLA in Arlington, Virginia, where he continued to refine his craft, calling University of Maryland games and working as a weekend sports anchor. It was here that Patrick's mentoring nature became evident. Kevin Kiley remembers how, on what was supposed to be Patrick's vacation, he showed up at the station to guide Kiley through a live show, an act that ultimately helped Kiley land the job. In 1982, Mike Patrick joined ESPN, and the rest is sports broadcasting history. He became a staple of Atlantic Coast Conference basketball coverage, often paired with the ever-energetic Dick Vitale. Together, they brought countless Duke versus UNC matchups to life, creating unforgettable moments for college hoops fans. He was also a key voice for the women's basketball Final Four from 1996 to 2009, the College World Series, and numerous college football bowl games. No matter the sport, Patrick approached each game with the same level of preparation, reverence, and excitement. But perhaps his most iconic role was as the voice of ESPN's Sunday Night Football. When the cable network first acquired NFL broadcast rights in 1987, a major milestone in its history, Patrick almost didn't take the job. He later admitted he tried to turn it down, preferring to stick with college sports. But Steve Bornstein, then ESPN's senior vice president, set him straight. "Are you an idiot? This is the biggest thing we'll have." Patrick took a day to consider and finally said yes. The rest, as they say, is history. The early days of Sunday Night Football were not without their hiccups. In its debut season, Patrick was paired with Roy Firestone, best known for his interview show and celebrity impressions, while a rotating cast of ex-NFL players filled the third analyst spot. The experiment faltered. Roy was trying to get off jokes, Codelli said. They'd have Dick Butkus one week, O.J. another, and Jim Brown another. One week, Ed Marinero showed up and said, "I'm happy to be here, but I haven't watched a game in a year." After that season, Patrick told producer John Wildhack, "If you ever do this again, I'll quit." The guest analyst format was scrapped. Joe Theismann replaced Firestone the following season, and Paul Maguire joined a decade later. That trio brought stability, chemistry, and credibility to ESPN's NFL coverage. Despite being one of ESPN's marquee announcers, Patrick never sought the spotlight. Unlike peers such as Al Michaels or Pat Summerall, he preferred to let the game and his co-commentators shine. Kevin Kiley summed it up best. The day he walked into a broadcast booth, that was the big thing for him, not recognition. He was naturally deferential. Even after retiring from the NFL broadcast beat in 2005, Patrick remained a vital presence at ESPN. His final call came in 2017 at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, a fitting send-off for a man who had spent his career making sports unforgettable for millions. Beyond the accolades and the highlight reels, Mike Patrick will be remembered as a gentleman of the game. He was the calm